Well, hello. Hi, thanks for joining me. This is Carl Markowski from the Playing On podcast. This is episode number 4. I had the chance to talk to Tyler Harmon. I was able to wrangle him up and get him over on the Skype video chat, and I actually recorded this on YouTube as well. Well, for YouTube, and it's going up right after the podcast goes up. I had a great conversation with Tyler. It was very enlightening. It's a great kid, great paintball player, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. But before we get to that, just a couple thank yous from our sponsors, Planet Eclipse. Thank you. Do you guys like shooting great paintball guns? I do. I love shooting the LVR and the LV1. They also have the CS1. But hands down, Planet Eclipse is one of the best paintball marker manufacturers in the world. Just guaranteed. I have not shot a better marker throughout my years of playing professional paintball or just paintball in general. Planet has come out with some of the most high-tech and most efficient and some of the best looking markers, as well as a bunch of soft goods. You can find all that on planeteclipse.com, and you can find anywhere from headbands to pants to jerseys, but you can find that all on planeteclipse.com. We are also sponsored by Van Trition for all of your sport supplement needs. They have a little thing called the preload, and you take that before your match, get you all hyped up and ready to go, and then after the match, about an hour or so after, I take the paintball reload, and that kind of gets your body recovering back from doing any kind of athletic activity. Anything that involves athletics or heavy objects and moving them. But yeah, you can head over to vantrition.com and you can find all of those goodies on the website. So thank you to Van Trition. Also a big thank you to Midwest Clothing. They supply me with headbands. They just came out with some new tiger stripe pants that I have actually down here. These fancy guys. Sorry for the guys listening or everybody listening on the podcast, the rustling. But thank you, Midwest Clothing. They do all kinds of custom work too, as well, with headbands and jerseys. And they have everything up on the website. It's MidwestClothingLLC.com. Just go over there on the World Wide Web, and you can find all that goodness over there. So, yeah, I don't want to keep you guys waiting anymore. Here is my interview with Tyler Harmon from San Diego Dynasty. San Diego Dynasty. Yes, there it is. Hope you guys enjoy. See ya. All right.
Your knees kind of bummed up.
Dude.
Are we live?
It sucks. Yeah, we're live. We're going right now.
Nice.
So I'm going to put you on full screen. All right. Dude, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me.
No problem at all. You're definitely one of the main guys that I wanted to have on just because of, dude, I've watched when you were 4'5". I saw you come up and playing, and now you're like 650 feet tall. So, and your personality, your ability on the paintball field, and you're just a generally nice person, and I love it, and I love people like that, and I'm just stoked to have you on, man.
Well, I appreciate that. That means a lot to me, dude, because I really care about this sport with all my heart, and that's why I've been doing it for, God, coming up on like almost 15 years pro, and I'm only like 27.
It's so nuts, dude. I feel like no other sport is like, maybe skateboarding, snowboarding, but it's like paintball. You can start so young and go through the ranks. I feel so quickly that
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what makes paintball so awesome, and I think that's what makes the great players like yourself and I can name them all, but I think that the passion for the game, I think, is key on just how well and how great players just play overall and stay in it.
Yeah, you got to have fire in your heart. You got to want it more than anybody else. And that's what separates, it's what separates champions from the losers.
Oh, 100%, 100%. So let's start it back in the beginning. What kind of got you into the game, and how did you get hooked in paintball?
Well, my uncle, he took me out for my very first time when I was like, must have been like 11 years old, and we went and played at this gnarly, like abandoned slaughterhouse, just out in the middle of
It was
nowhere.
a
And
slaughterhouse.
yeah, it was this old abandoned slaughterhouse in the middle of, I don't even know where it's at, to be honest now. I was so young, but we brought our own scuba tanks and we filled up our own air and everything and had our paint and everything. And I was shooting like a spider or a tipman and just like, just like everybody else, just starting out with basic stuff. And um, I don't know, ever since I first picked up a paintball gun and shot it and we went out and played, like I just couldn't stop thinking about it. Every day I'd come home and try and watch paintball videos and, just got hooked. And I would like keep my paintball gun under my bed, like ready to go, like,
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
like super weird stuff. But I just fell in love with the adrenaline rush that I got from like running and hiding and playing against someone. It's like laser tag for adults.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So it was just a really big rush for me, and I just have never put down the paintball marker ever since that day, pretty much.
Yeah, it has that weird feeling that you never really feel, even with baseball,
Yeah,
football, or did you play any other
totally.
sports in high
Oh
school?
yeah, I'm a sports fanatic. I've played every single sport that you can possibly imagine, like soccer, baseball, football, and a lot of them are, contact based. And paintball is in a way, but it's not so much that you don't have to be, bigger or taller, stronger. It does help at the professional level to
Hmm.
have those physical attributes, but paintball is just such a mental and like a spiritual game where it's really you have to dig deep inside of yourself like no other sport that I've ever played and really consciously be super aware of your surroundings because it's like a big chess match essentially.
Oh yeah.
So it's really unique.
I
Yeah.
feel like it's on the mental level. I feel like it's like golf almost, where
Yeah,
I mean, you're on a 5-man team, 10-man, whatever you're playing, but
totally.
it's so many individual decisions that
Mhm.
it's like that mental ability that you need is
Yeah.
uh is just absolutely, like, you have
Yeah.
to have it. You have to, otherwise you're just gonna crumble under the situations.
Totally. And I love golf too. Like golf, snowboarding, paintball, those are my favorite sports that I do.
You're all over the place, man.
Oh yeah. I love it all, dude. I'm just like I'm a sports fanatic and like the football game tomorrow. I think that someday paintball, who knows, could be as big as these other sports and we could have tons of people watching it. It's up to each and every one of us to take the responsibility on to grow it in a positive light and share it with all of our friends and family and let them know, about what it is that we exactly do and the fact that people think that, it's a dangerous sport, but it's one of the safest sports out there.
Yeah.
It's we're all looking out for each other and we're all taking care of each other, so it's a really good thing. And I think it has the potential to be huge, absolutely huge.
Yeah, I think our obstacle is just getting people who don't know about it to care.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
because everybody inside the sport, it's like a huge family. Everybody cares
Yeah,
about one another, like you said, and everybody's looking out for one another. But it's that huge hill of getting people who just don't know nothing about it to be able to sit down, watch it, understand it, and care about it, and be passionate about it as much as we can. Because that's why people tune in to hockey, uh,
yeah,
football, and watch Super Bowl Sunday and all that stuff. Is there people are passionate about it, even if they're not, they're still interested in it because I guess
yeah,
it's like an American pastime sport kind of thing. But we have to
totally.
get that paintball over the media side, because the media too, with people having their
Yeah,
goggles up and just making it seem like it's just this big joke kind of a sport.
yeah,
We got to get past that, and that's the tough
totally.
part.
I know you see it in all these commercials and like, TV shows where they got their, no safety at all. They're just, kind of having fun with the sport. But a lot of people don't even know that I exist or that you exist, that we, play at a professional level where, it's something that has changed our lives forever because of the families that we've, met and all the people that we've come in contact with. And we've been able to, really have a positive influence on a lot of youth. Paintball is one
Oh
of the
yeah.
biggest sports in the world. It just what we do, as professional paintballs on airball fields, that is not normal. People don't know about that. It's more of a recreational game right now. But with all of us working hard, it's gonna get there someday. It's just it takes a lot of time and passion, and we'll all get it there. It just
Yeah.
takes time.
Yeah, for sure. It's fingers crossed, man. I'm hoping it does. In my time playing the sport, I hope it
Yeah.
does.
Well, like for my son, I want maybe if not even my son, but let's say kids coming up that are, being born today. In 20 years from now, I want them to have a future where they can provide for their family if they want to through this sport because there's other sports out there. I mean, people play darts and
Yeah,
or bowling and
bowling's
like
still around.
you
Yeah,
know, yeah, and there's big potential in those sports to provide for their families in those sports. And I just hope that paintball someday can do that for our youth coming up. And that's really why I do this and what I'm still here for and fighting for is for the youth. And I'll continue to do that until I'm an old man and hopefully someday we'll, provide for everybody.
yeah. We'll be the old guys.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because I mean, if you think about it, dude, I remember stepping into the sport in the game, and like when I grew up playing, I didn't really have probably the teams that you got to watch and see, like
Yeah.
dynasties and all those teams that
Yeah.
you got to watch the greats play back then. Like I had Aftershock, but it was 4 hours away,
Oh,
and I was still like early in the sport on kind of knowing what it was and competing and everything. But I I would have loved to have been in your position to watch all the great players and the great teams practice and be able to be right there on the net. And I mean, I think that's
oh,
another thing
yeah.
too that I don't think kids do enough is watch and and
Serious.
and watch the players that you enjoy watching and their play style, and not just on paintball videos or anything like that. Like if you go to
Yeah.
events, watch the players that you like how they play, and study how they play. Why do they look this way for this certain long? And then look at where they're looking. And I don't feel like kids don't do that anymore. They get a lot of repetitions in playing, but I feel like they don't soak it in as much as we did. I guess you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Being like I was always obsessed with like watching the pros. Like we would have Iron Man or Cat Factory, which became
Yeah.
like the old, Avalanche guys, and they all merged. And Bob Long's Iron Man. I would meticulously watch not only how they played on the field, but them as people off the field. And I would try to be around the group of guys and listen to how they talk off the field. What type of tactics they come up with off the field, because really that's when you come up with the real gems of knowledge is when you're sitting there talking to your teammate off the field and you guys crack a code and you're like, all right, this is what we're going to do in this situation. Because that's what it all comes down to is a bunch of little situations that you have to meticulously go over in your mind because they're going to arise on the field. And once you can start to mentally see those situations and break through them, then that's going to carry on to the field. So, we're only seeing a little spectrum when we watch a paintball game, but there's a lot of work going on off the field that they're talking about. And I would always try to like sneak over to their little area and
Yeah.
listen like what they're talking about and see how they act, and that all translates into our paintball game style and how we play and carry ourselves.
So when you first started playing and you started getting addicted to it, you started playing more often.
Yeah.
What was the first team that you played on? Where you played in like a local event or something like that? How did that come about?
Yeah, actually, Rich Telford is like my godfather.
Really?
Like he put me on from a very young age, and Robert Scott, he's a old school pro. He used to run a paintball store with my dad called Twisted Paintball, and that was like my first team that I got to be a part of. I was on Twisted Kids, and then I made it onto the factory team, and then I got onto Oakland Assassins when I was like 14 through that
That's
camp.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So like my very first tournaments were just like 3-man tournaments, local 3-man tournaments
Yep.
with a couple of scraggle buddies who would all come together and go out and have a good time. And it just, it morphed from that into 5-man and then 7-man. And that was really the premier format for a long time was 7-man.
I loved it.
So yeah, it was just a whole different, you had your NXL, which came about. Kind of that's the new era of paintball, but we came out of the woods. That's where paintball came from was 10-man big huge open fields, and then they made it more into of a tight game style with the 7-man format. We've just been evolving, and I think that honestly for viewers to watch and enjoy the next level of paintball that's going to come and really understand what's going on in the paintball field,
Mhm.
it's going to go to a 2 or a 3-man pro type thing. I think that's going to be the most easily digestible format for people to watch,
Yeah.
and it'll kind of be like a tennis match almost, where you have you're 15, 30, 40, and you get a point if you win that set and something like that. Because right now it's like we have 10 players on the field in a 5-on-5 format. It's like watching 10 basketballs get thrown around, on a basketball court.
Yeah.
Because each one of us is doing something unique.
So many different things.
So I think that if we take it down and we have huge, names that people like watching, you have Fedorovs and your Greenspans, your Olivers, all these people, and they have 2 or 3 man tournaments, you're going to have a really good turnout of a bunch of teams because it's less money to bring a couple people,
right?
And it's going to be more easily digestible. And I'm going to start, trying to pull strings and get that to go. And you see the NXL is already doing like a 2-man type thing.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's going to be where our future of high-level paintball is going to go, is going to be into something like that, something more digestible. Because right now, viewers just don't even know what they're looking at when they watch a paintball game. There's just so many layers going on to it. Yeah.
I was thinking about that too, and I didn't know what I was on the fence about with the 2-on-2 was, is it going to be like suspenseful enough? Like is it going to be too fast or is it going to be too slow? I guess I just have to watch it more, but because I know 5-man works just for the fact that it's almost like I kind of compare it to hockey, right?
Yeah.
You have one puck that you're worrying about, but at the same time, there's 5 guys with skates on going all over the all over the ice, and 5-on-5 is you can follow it a little bit. It's like you said, it's a little chaotic and everything like that, though. But I'd probably be interested to see like if maybe a 3-on-3 or and just work our way down from like a 5-on-5. But then you start kicking in. It's like, are the sponsors still going to be interested? Is it going to be now? Are there going to be even more teams because of less players? And
here's the kicker. This is the kicker. This is why I think it's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, nobody's lives are changing when they win a paintball tournament. Okay?
I wish, dude.
Nobody's lives are changing.
Mm-hmm.
If I win the Super Bowl of paintball, my life does not change one bit at all. I have the accolade. It's
almost like another tournament.
It is.
I mean, it's not, but it is. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, in regards to being able to take my life to the next level, and if I win a tournament like that, I should be able to take my life to the next level and be able to start knocking down new goals that are gonna, I want to, create an empire of a brand someday, right? I want to be able to spread my paintball knowledge and love for the sport all over the world through that. I still have to slave and work to sustain my paintball career.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm making a ton of money playing paintball.
And now with kids.
And the kids might think that's happening, but it's absolutely not. And stay in school, all right? Get your education, become smart, and work hard. Because I've been working hard my whole life to play paintball. And it's still not at a level yet where we're going to have a life-changing event if I win a tournament. Now, let's say that you have a 2-man tournament where every team pays in $1,200 for their 2-man team, and you have a $75,000 pot.
Yeah.
Okay. Where this one 2-man team is going to win maybe $30,000 or $40,000. Okay, that is life-changing money.
Oh yeah.
And I think that is going to be a huge reason as to why the 2-man or 3-man will work, because we're going to change lives. We're going to change lives when you win these things. And it's going to have a profound effect on the paintball community. And it's also going to make people be better at paintball, because you have to have good gun skills to win a 2-man tournament. And you have to have good communication. You have to really work together as a good teamwork. So it still implements that team aspect, but it's just going to add another layer to where we can change lives. Yeah. I think that's the next step.
Yeah, I think when you put it that way, when you go pro, there should be perks, right? Which we definitely. I mean, we have perks. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
But it's it's not life-changing perks. I mean, that's pretty much the perfect way to say it. And that's what we should have at the level that we're playing at, because growing up, and I'm sure you were the same way. It didn't matter if we got paid a bunch or if we got a bunch of I wanted to play pro. I wanted to play against the best teams. I wanted to butt heads with all the best guys on the team.
Still do.
And and everything else was kind of just an incentive. It was just a
Totally.
perk.
Yeah.
But now it has to happen. Otherwise, it's just you're going to see more teams. I feel fold up, and
Absolutely.
it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's the last thing I want to do is see teams fold up.
No, absolutely. And I still to this day I don't want like I was talking to somebody about this like I don't even want to be the one that is like on the eye of the focus or anything like that. I just want for paintball to be successful. That's
Yeah.
all that I really want. And whatever we have to do for paintball to be successful and for people to really take another look at it and say, "Wow, I should be playing this sport. Look at these guys. Look at what's happening there. This guy, just took his buddy and they just went and had the time of their lives and won a ton of money and now they can start to maybe build a camp with their own local because it all starts local and if you have a bunch of people that are hungry and grinding locally it's
Hmm.
going to translate into all the leagues. It's going to translate all over the place into more people playing paintball and I think that I've been talking with some people about trying to get something like that going and who knows what the future holds but it would be exciting to see like your favorite paintball players teaming up with another one of your favorite paintball players and playing a 2-man or 3-man event
Oh
and
yeah.
just another little fun spin on the sport so it's something on the back burner but who knows maybe we'll get it going
It's a
here pretty
great
soon.
idea. I mean, that's
Yeah.
we need another, and I've always been wondering what the next big step for paintball is
Yeah.
going to be. What's the next big technical advantage that's going to happen, or the next big just
Yeah.
what would you call it? Just the five, not 5-man, but yeah, the 3-man, the format, the
Yeah.
format change. So
Totally.
I'm always wondering what's going to happen.
Yeah, and like you know we just have to kind of play our role, but we still have a lot of influence on the community of paintball. One of us can change this whole thing if we just put enough thought power and heart power into it, and
Oh,
we all connect
100%.
with each other. We can all make it go through the roof.
Hell yeah. Um,
Yeah,
so I want to talk to you too a little bit about like your mental state. Like,
there we go.
dude, full of energy. I love it. Like
Yeah,
I I feed off of it, to be honest, man. I love the energy level that you have. I love the positivity that you have. Where does that come from? Is it all just blocked out and it's all just, all you do is
yeah.
just think positive thoughts, or is there a process that goes into it?
No, man. I wish I could say that I always thought positively. I really try to, constantly be a positive person, but life isn't easy, and I have my ups and downs, and I know we all do. But the one thing that I really stay tied to is the moment. I'm just so fastened into the moment that I try to give thanks and appreciation for all these moments with you, all the people listening in who care about our sport and who want to see it grow just like I do. Um, I have to obviously shout out to my mom because she raised
Yeah,
me and like pretty much brainwashed me with all this crazy hippie nonsense and love power because she's from
it's
Santa
good.
Cruz,
Yeah.
Santa Cruz hippie woman, and my dad is a Army Ranger, and he
It's like
is the
two
one.
totally opposite. Like,
I know.
yeah,
So I have hippie Santa Cruz and Iowa, Midwest Army Ranger, and my dad is the one who I started playing paintball with, and my mom and my dad both instilled a lot of really good qualities in me from them. God bless them. I have the greatest parents anybody could ever ask for, and I really have a big heart for people, and I really care about our sport, and so every chance that I get when I have my jersey on, or if you see me anywhere at the paintball field or just walking down the street, I love people and I have faith in us. I know it's hard times out there and there's not much faith going on in each other, but I can't turn my back on us, and that's really where it comes down to is the human connection. That's what fires me up, and
yeah.
that's what keeps me going.
So you had all that before Oliver, then?
Oh yeah, I taught all of it. I'm just joking.
Yeah. Well, no, it's good. I feel like everybody needs to not put the phones down, because I feel like technology has helped us out a lot, like throughout the years, and it connects
Yeah,
us, but at the same time it kind of like separates us. But it's that gray area.
yeah,
You kind of need it. But
yeah,
I mean, as a person, we need people. right?
Oh,
We're such a connected being that I feel like you have to have another to talk to. If you talk to yourself, you're gonna go nuts. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So just that the like feelings I feel came from things you felt from other people. You know, because
Totally.
that other person made you feel that way, or the connections, and it just.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
That's right.
uh, we have to come together in the paintball community, outside the paintball community. You're
Yeah.
like if you're just talking about a single person, you have to mentally just clear out all the bullshit. And
Totally.
if you're gonna try and compete too, you have to clear out all the bullshit, because if you don't, it's gonna eat away at you, and
Mhm.
you're not gonna be the same. You're just not.
Yeah. And obviously, when it comes to paintball, when I step on the field, I'm an animal. This whole deal goes out the window. I go crazy.
Oh yeah.
I'm just out there. I'm trying to feast, and it's a shift in consciousness, and that's what we're conscious beings, and that's what makes us so unique. On this experience here on planet Earth is we have the gift of consciousness and the gift of creation. We're creators, and we can tune ourselves to create anything and manifest into our lives anything that we choose to.
Oh
It's
yeah.
the power of choice, and as long as we stay, in the moment and play with a pure heart and good people, connect with good people, anything's possible, and we can, like, everybody out there, if you want to attain a goal, just really stay focused on that goal and don't let anything shake you from it, and stay true to yourself and be a good person, because nobody wants to be around someone who's like,
Yeah.
not fun to be around. So just stay positive and try and see the light in everything, and
Hmm.
everything will start to click up.
Yeah, yeah, and you don't see anybody you don't see the people around who have burned bridges. I mean,
That's
and
right.
that's
Yeah.
that's how I've always thought. And I don't want anybody to not like me. Obviously, there's gonna be
Yeah.
a shit
There
ton
are
of people
people.
who don't like. You know what I mean? So there's always gonna be those people. But I feel like the
Yeah,
people that really know me, and
for sure.
the people that know you, they know how we are. They know how genuine that someone can be. And I feel like that's kind of what wanted me to talk to you. Is you just
I
seem
love that.
fucking genuine, dude. And that's what I love about it. And it comes out on the paintball field too, because some guys will go out there and they'll be just super serious, and then nothing else
Yeah.
matters. And right now, which we do that in the same way, but you can't let the moment also bring you down. You have to kind of
Yeah.
let it be. You know,
Absolutely. Let it
it,
breathe. Just let
yeah,
it breathe.
you
Yeah.
harness it, but when shit gets going, you also have to be able to let it go and come to the
Yeah.
next moment, because it's a moment by
Totally.
moment thing, especially with paintball,
That's right.
point by point.
They're eternal. They
It's
just never stop. Yeah.
exactly, and I think that's what excites me about going to paintball tournaments and being in the
Yeah.
position that you and I are in,
Totally.
is that influential position, and then also we're playing at the highest level, so it's like so
Yeah.
much is at stake, not just money or
Yeah.
reputation or anything like that, but just the competitiveness of playing at the highest level is just, I love it. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, dude. And that's all we've ever had in our sport. And that's, you see, we come back year after year because we love it. No matter what, we don't need money. We don't need any accolades. We don't need any of these, anything. We just need our paintball marker, our buddies, go out there, go at each other. And, the best players in the world, they're going to show up and we're going to have a good time.
Oh
That's what
yeah.
it's all about.
So
Yeah.
have you ever fought through any kind of major injuries or surgeries or anything like that? Has anything ever
Yeah.
kind of slowed you down?
Actually, yeah, I dislocated my knee, not at the last World Cup, but the one before the last World Cup, and that took me a little while to get back from. Thank God I didn't tear anything. It was just like a dislocation, and nothing really too major.
Hmm.
But I've broken my hand. I've sprained my ankles. I've done a lot of like things to myself, but thankfully, I don't know why I heal pretty quick, and I've been
Yeah.
able to. I've never really missed too much paintball because of an injury. Thank God.
Yeah, it's the same thing for me. I haven't had, but man, I had a shoulder issue one time where I was actually playing flag football, and
Oh,
I laid out for a catch, and it was like soft ground, and my shoulder went right into the ground, and I heard a crunch, and I thought I had snapped my clavicle or my
whew,
collarbone, and
man.
I couldn't move it or anything like that, and I was looking to see if anything was poking out, but nothing was poking out, but I still couldn't move my
Oh my
shoulder.
God.
It was the
Yeah.
very first pass of the game. and I went to the hospital. I ended up tearing my, I think it's called an ACL joint that was up here, and now I have like this giant, like, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like a big like dent in my shoulder, and it never healed right. But I have all motion and everything like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I broke all my fingers. All my fingers are jammed and broken, and I think I rolled an ankle once. But my my meniscus is actually the first time where I've had surgery, and dude, it's terrible. I'm
Oh my
somebody
God.
who I always have to be doing something. I have to keep my
Yeah.
mind
Me
going,
too.
and
Same
it's
way.
driving me crazy.
I know you're like
It's
going stir crazy. Like,
going
get
stir
back
crazy.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad's been through that too. Like he has double knee replacements and all that. And so I've seen and I've known a lot of people that, have gone through that. So, I hope you heal up well and everything goes well. But it's really tough. That's a tough thing when your knees,
Yeah.
injure you, something like that.
Me too, man. Because I haven't been able to play at all this off season,
Yeah.
just because
Yeah.
I probably could, but I just,
Don't push it.
yeah, exactly. The thing is that I'm not gonna go out prematurely and just screw it
No
up
way.
even more, and then the season's shot. I'd rather,
Yeah.
because it's
No,
really
just
gonna
take
be
it.
the deadline until the
Right.
practices come up. Is I'm gonna be able to see if I'm not gonna be able to play
Yeah.
or not.
Like Carl, you know how to play ball, bud. I mean, you don't need to go out there and rush it. You just take it
Yeah.
easy because you don't want to like put yourself out even further doing
No,
something like that.
no,
Yeah,
it's been tough though because you know
dude, I can
we're trying to
imagine.
catch up to you guys,
Yeah,
because you guys are playing all the time. So it's like
yeah,
it's such a tough part out here because all the fields for me, the indoors are probably 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. Like
okay.
everybody's about 3 hours away
Wow.
and indoor. Yeah, and nothing against the indoors, but it's a fucking indoor. Nobody has really
Yeah,
good light, and it's kind of just
I
it's
know exactly
slimy.
what you
It's
mean.
yeah. So,
Yeah,
so we're always trying to catch up to you guys for the first event, and it's not an excuse. It's just kind of it is what it
no,
is.
yeah,
But
yeah,
and I think that bringing it back into like professional paintball, I think that kind of there needs to be a
you're right.
balance, and I don't know if there's ever going to be of teams who are
Yeah,
well funded, and I don't know how you guys run or anything, but like teams like Impact or like a Heat where it's well funded, they can fly out to practices, they can play wherever. Um,
yeah,
and I wonder if we're across the board if we're ever going to get that way because a guy actually I had a friend of mine ask, he goes, you should talk about on the podcast if there should be like a salary cap or not, or if there should be
yeah.
some kind of ceiling. And I told him, I was like,
Equalizer.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's no minimum.
yeah,
For there to be
yeah,
a ceiling, there's got to be a bottom because not everybody's getting paid. So it's just
yeah.
I don't know if it's ever going to across the board be that way and actually be equal all the way around. I don't know what you
That's a
think.
that's a very good thought process there. I've never really thought about that, but yeah, we don't have a cap on either the lower or the higher extremities of what a team can spend to become what they're going to be. But that's a very unique aspect of pro paintball. Is that like you said, there are the top four teams are probably the wealthiest four
Mm-hmm.
teams, and that's not okay. That's not because it's just kind of widening the gap on your accessibility to how much you can play and
Yeah.
uh, yeah, that's a really interesting concept there. I've
Well,
never really
and I don't think I'm sorry to cut you off. I don't mean I don't think that it's the players on the team either. And I think what makes those teams really good is that they play together they can afford to play together all the time.
right.
And I
Yeah,
think
they're
that's what
always seeing each other.
yeah,
Yeah, totally.
because
And that's huge. That's monumental.
yeah, especially for a professional or any team, to play together all the time is huge. And I think that for them to be able to afford that
Yeah,
is the biggest thing because you can have all stars on your team, but if you don't
yeah,
have the money to get them together all the time and practice all the time, it's going to be a shit
yeah,
show because you're just
yeah.
not going to be able to
Because
get your stuff together.
totally, I have to know. Like when I'm out there on the field with my brothers, I have to know what they're going to do before they do it, just because I know them as a person.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? And you see that in a lot of great sports. They hang out with each other all the time, and they know each other to the core.
Hmm.
That way, when they're put in tough situations, they can read their teammate and know exactly what they're going to do and have a better understanding of how to break something down in different situations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought of it as you have to trust the guy next to you, and he has to trust you to be able to do each other's jobs as well as your own. You know what I mean? So it's like it's
Totally.
almost an all-encompassing trust that
Totally.
you're just gonna you don't have to think about it, and the guys on your team don't have to think about it. You just do it.
Yeah, it's just second nature because you guys have been playing together for so long.
Yeah.
And you're right. That is a huge difference maker in these top tier teams. They're playing paintball together all the time, every weekend almost. And that costs a lot of money. Paintball is not a cheap sport.
No, it's not.
It's a luxury sport. It's it's just like motocross or snowboarding.
Oh yeah.
You gotta continuously be buying the paintballs, the gear, and making sure everything's good, and the flights, all the money it costs to get people out there, the paintballs. It's a lot goes into it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very key point that you brought up there as to why certain teams and individuals excel is the amount of time that they have been blessed with to play
Yeah.
their teammates, and it's just crazy.
And I think that's when he was talking about the salary cap. I think that's when it would come into effect is if all the teams had the money like all the other teams, and then okay, you can start doing salary caps and doing whatever you want. But I think until that solid roundabout plateau is there, I think that's the only way you're going to be able to enforce anything like that. Otherwise, the teams are just going to be spending as much money as they can to play.
Well, maybe someday we'll have little paintball arenas all over the country, and
that'd be sweet.
We can have we'll have Sacramento will fly, and they're going to play Orlando tonight, and it's all broadcast over wherever it's broadcast, and then the next week you have this team flying out here to play them, and they play for whatever, and you have a basketball season or a football season, and then at the end, after all the games, whoever's won enough games, then you'll have the Super Bowl type deal with paintball or something like that someday, where we can have actual paintball areas where we have a big broadcasting station and viewers, but once again, it all takes dinero. And it's going to be a while before we see that, but it's good that we're processing these types of things and really thinking. It shows that we care about the future, and I know that we all care about the future of paintball, and that's why it's going to be successful. Because we care. Everyone cares.
So what do you think about this year? Do you, because I know you guys lost Dalton to Impact. I didn't see that. I didn't see that coming or even hear anything about it until it actually happened.
No, I'm happy for Dalton. He's got to do what he's got to do. Obviously, I'm got mixed feelings. I love the guy, and I think that he's going to be very successful anywhere he goes. But it's going to be good for Dynasty. No disrespect to Dalton, but we have a lot of players on our team, and we have a lot of good players, really good players.
Yeah.
So this is going to kind of take some stress off of our bench and give us an opportunity to really showcase what we have and what we've had for the last 4 or 5 seasons. And I think that we're always right there. We're always a top tier team that can win world championships at any moment. It's just we have to show up. You got to be in the moment, and really you got to capture the moments. There's opportunities that are always there and they're ready to be captured. You have to be ready to capture the moments, and that's what we're going to do this season. Capture.
So do you guys plan on adding anybody?
No, we're not going to add anybody. We're staying with what we got, just minus Dalton.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm excited for Dalton too because he's having a little minion. He's having a baby.
And the family grows.
That's it. Yep, that baby's going to be here in no time, and he's got to provide, and Impact's going to give him the opportunity to do that, and he's going to play in Europe as well. So I'm very proud of him, and I'll miss him. I love him. But you're still a trainer. No, I'm joking. I love you, Dalton.
It's
I love you with all my heart.
I've always wanted to play in Europe. I never got the chance to. Always wanted to. I never even been to Europe actually.
Yeah, I went one time last season. I've been invited, but I never go because I play in America and I work really hard. I own my company doing pest control. Shout out to Harmon Pest Control.
Hell yeah!
And that's what I do. That's my day job, and I hunt termites during the week, and then I hunt people on the weekend.
That's a good slogan.
Yeah. So I'm just working really hard, and it's a grinder. Paintball is not an easy industry or sport to be in. It's a real grinder, but it's so rewarding because of all the amazing people and the amazing experiences that we get to have. And it makes us more well-rounded people, being able to get outside of our bubble of our city and go to different cities and play paintball. And this sport will show you yourself like no other sport has, because it's the sport of war. You're
Oh
in the
yeah,
trenches. It's
yeah.
going to show you what you're made of. When it comes down to it, you're gonna either have to push through or you're gonna get eliminated, and you guys are going home.
Hmm.
So it's really an amazing time, an amazing sport to be a part of. It's amazing.
So being a dad, how
Yeah,
does and soon to be 2 times dad,
yeah,
um,
doubling up.
how does that affect your life at home? And then how does that affect your paintball life?
Yeah. Well, thankfully, I have the greatest woman in the world by my side, and I couldn't do it without her or my family and her family. It takes a tribe to raise these kids,
Oh
so we
yeah.
have very good support, and like I said, I couldn't do it without them. It's definitely a little bit different. I work out with Theo on my back now, so he is like my little training weight. He's on my back while I do push-ups and pull-ups and stuff.
Nice.
So like he's pushing me, she pushes me. I have a great support system, and I couldn't do it without Sarah and my family, because she, makes sure that I'm fed. She knows that I have a lot that I'm trying to accomplish in my paintball career, and she really, really pushes me to be the best that I can be. And that's what you have to have. Life's all about human experience, like we were talking about earlier, and
Hmm.
we have to be very, very consciously aware of the human experiences that we choose to become a part of, because they're going to have a huge influence on our life.
Oh yeah.
So, very fortunate that I have connected with these people, because Sarah is, I've known her since high school. We dated in high school, and she's always, been the love of my life. And it's just amazing that we're able to create this chemistry together. And she's just the greatest. I can't say enough good things about her. I couldn't do it without her.
Yeah.
Nothing would work without her.
What's the saying? Behind every great man is a great woman, or something like that. Yeah,
She,
because there's no way I'd be able to do what I'm doing without the support of my wife. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, it's a timeless experience too, because she knows that I'm not going to do this forever, right?
Hmm.
I'm not going to play at the top level of paintball forever. So while I'm here, she's putting it all out there for me and supporting me 110%, because she knows that someday, I'll be able to have those weekends off where we can share every moment together, and
Yeah.
really dig into all the time that's possible for us. But while I have this opportunity, she's by my side, feeding me, pushing me to get in the gym, and really working me so that I'm the best that I can be, which is hard to find. It's really hard to find. I'm very, very grateful that I have such good family. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's all about family.
Yeah, I can't give my wife enough credit too, because while I'm gone, she's keeping the little monster in line, and she's
Yeah,
making sure he's
yeah,
fed, and she's a stay-at-home mom, so she's
yeah,
raising him from the morning to night to morning to night, morning to night, and while we're gone at the tournaments and everything, she's just 100% doing it on her
yeah,
own, and it's amazing how they can do that, just
yeah.
day
Thank
to
you to
day
all
things.
the moms out there.
Yes, thank
My
you,
God,
moms.
you're the greatest. You
We
make
wouldn't
the
be
world go
here,
around.
literally,
Yeah,
without you.
literally. Yeah. Yeah, and see, it's like little shifts in like awareness like that. I don't think there's enough love for the moms out there. Like we got to do it for our families, for our mothers, for the mothers of the future. And like
Hmm.
we got to really, nothing's promised. We have to take advantage of every moment, and make sure we're doing our best we can to provide for everything.
So I'm gonna bring it back to paintball again for a little bit.
Yeah,
Who do you like watching play? Like who can you sit down and just watch them play, and no matter what they do, it's just kind of like, man, that's
yeah.
you just enjoy it.
Fedorov, I love watching him play, just because he's very passionate and he's smart, really smart guy. And his paintball is a lot of gun skills and
Hmm.
awareness. That's really what it comes down to, is who's going to be the most aware, who's going to make those big shots. And you always see him pulling that kind of stuff out. Um, Stylistically, my favorite player to play probably used to be like Josh Davey. Josh Davey
Yeah.
from Canada. He used to play on Dynasty and Bob's team.
Dude, I was watching.
Yeah.
I just gotta say this. I was watching. Was it Soldiers of Misfortune?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I was watching Josh Davey play, and I was like, that motherfucker looks like Tyler. He straight up does. I thought about it right in watching his segment. I was like, man, it looked. You guys have a similar play style.
Totally. Yeah, and I was, 14, 15 years old when I first got on the they beat me up for a while in Oakland when I first got on. I was like 13 and
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't really play tournaments for like probably like 6 months. They just beat the crap out of me at practices, and like I would travel to the tournaments, maybe play a game or two, but they were really, when I first got on Bob's team, was just like, getting me ready to be out on the field against these grown men, because I'm just still like a little kid.
yeah,
And I was still, mopping up these guys out there a little bit, but I was nowhere near at the level where I would, grow into through Bob's camp. And like watching, Riley Sullivan, Josh Davey, the OGs like, crazy Arnold Francisco, and
yeah,
like,
yeah,
John Marquez. These were all my mentors and my like overseers when I was a little kid, and I picked up a lot of my stylistic play and my mental play from obviously all those guys. And I've had to metamorphosize over the years through my growth as a human too, because like you said, I started out as like one of the shortest pro players,
yeah.
and now one of the tallest pro players in the circuit. So I've had to like learn over and over again how to play as I grew, and my different body style obviously. So now I used to play the snake. Now I play more of a support role, or I'll play lead Doritos, because I'm 6'2". I can still get pretty small, but I'm a pretty big guy now,
Yeah.
pretty tall. Yeah,
I think that's one of your biggest attributes is your height, but then
yeah,
also you can get super tiny, which is huge
totally.
too. In those Doritos, man, you gotta get small, and I think you play that role
Yeah,
perfectly. Um, and I think one of your biggest things too is your shot and your communication are money. I enjoy watching. You're one of the players that I enjoy watch, or I
yeah.
enjoy play. Like it's awesome.
Thanks, brother.
And
I appreciate
yeah, it's on and off the field. You're a big influence still to myself, as well as I'm sure a ton of kids out there. But even though you're younger than me, you're still a big influence for me. Just
it.
to
Yeah,
stay positive and drive, and
yeah. I
that's
love that, Carl. That
yeah,
means a lot to me. Like I, I, I've always, you played for Excessive. You were out here all the time, and
yeah,
we've always been brothers for a long time, and that means a lot to me, dude. I appreciate that.
yeah. No problem. It's the truth, and yeah, that's why I wanted to have you on again. Is
Cool, man.
yeah, I enjoy watching it, and so another question that I had. Let's see. I wrote it down because I know I
No
could
doubt.
remember it all. What which one was it going to be? It was how long do you think you have to play still? Like I mean, because eventually we're going to hit that breaking point. Especially some of the guys on the team, they're a little
Yeah.
bit older. When or have any of them kind of talked about maybe in a few years hanging it up, or when do you think you are probably going to start winding down?
Yeah, I don't see me stopping playing professional paintball anytime soon. Hopefully, I can be in my mid 30s before that happens, or push it as far as I can go. I know that, like you said, we have the greatest team, in my opinion, in the world with these guys that we have surrounded by. I don't even know how this happened. Like, I looked up to these guys, my whole life, and now I get to play side by side with them, and that is the greatest honor I've ever had in my whole life. Like, even if I was to stop playing paintball today, I can say that I really accomplished what I set out to, just by obviously winning some big tournaments, and growing as a human, and being able to play alongside these like Jedi masters that I
Yeah,
like looked up to my whole life. And I've learned so much from Oliver and Alex and Ryan and Yosh, and the whole core of Dynasty that it is today. and all of the forefathers too that came through Dynasty. Watching them all as I grew up, and I don't see this slowing down for me anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that the guys on my team, I don't see them slowing down anytime soon. They still have more fire than just about anybody out in the circuit. And they still want to win tournaments just like anybody. And God willing, I hope they play forever. I
Yeah,
hope that they never hang up the gun because they've always been there for me.
they
And,
will. It's just they're just going to be around
yeah,
forever.
yeah, and I hope so. I love that. I can't wait. I
So,
can't wait to be playing alongside them forever.
what got you on the team? Like, how did that come about?
I approached them. I said that I wanted to make the team, and I drove down to San Diego like 3 weekends in a row. It's like a 7-hour drive for me from where I live. I live
Mm-hmm.
up in Northern California in Modesto, and so drove down a few weekends in a row and put in work and practiced and made the squad. And the very first tournament. See, here's the crazy thing. Like 4 or 5 seasons ago, people were saying that Dynasty will never win again because they hadn't won a tournament in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of speculation that people want Dynasty to die because we're the greatest team that's ever lived, right? They're like, these guys can't do this forever, right? No, that's not right. We're gonna do this forever. So like they didn't think that we were gonna be able to do it. And but our very first tournament together, me, Kyle, Brandon joined the team, and we went out and we won our first tournament, a pro tournament that they had won in a long time, and we went back to back on wins, and we won another one later on in the season, and we won the world title for 2013. So like we we set a new precedence for what the future of Dynasty is going to be,
Mm-hmm.
and now we're still building that to this day. We obviously have acquired Marcelo and Alex Rodriguez, and who are phenomenal paintball players. And that's really what it comes down to is each of us all working hard together and building this thing continuously because it's every moment's brand new, and we're
Yeah.
not promised anything. We have to continue to work hard for it.
Yeah. Now, what team were you on before you headed over to Dynasty?
I was hopping around ever since I left Bob Long because
Mm-hmm.
Bob Long's camp kind of closed down. They stopped doing, once the 7-man went away, um, Bob didn't have a pro team anymore.
Was that
And it was,
2011?
yeah, that's right. And it was a weird time for me because I didn't have a family anymore, really.
Mm-hmm.
I'd been playing professional with Bob since I was 14 till I was about 19 or 20, and then I had to find a new family essentially. And
Yeah.
I went and played for Tampa Bay Damage, who was a phenomenal camp, and I played for Edmonton Impact, obviously phenomenal camp, and then I reached out to Dynasty after Impact and talked with Ryan and wanted to come out and make the squad and made the squad, and the rest has been history ever since then. I've been with the team for 5 seasons now. This will be the 5th season.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I missed a whole bunch. I missed a whole bunch of shit when I left. I left at the end of
Yeah,
2009,
yeah,
and it didn't come back until like midway through 2013. So I really had no idea when I came back what was going on. Honestly, I didn't even know if I was ever going to come back.
wow,
I at the end of 2009 when I told Travis from Infamous, I was like, dude, I just for some reason my heart just wasn't in it anymore, and I
yeah,
couldn't justify leaving and then wasting their time,
yeah,
and if I just wasn't I don't feel like I was playing my best. I don't feel
yeah,
stuff was kind of up and down at home, and you know, it was definitely a weird time for me, and so much happened when I was gone, and it
yeah,
sucks because I won't get that back. So and because all
yeah,
those paintball memories we have of the roster changes and the wins and the losses and all this, I won't have that. So when I came back
yeah,
in 13. Uh, it was just like this whole new me that came about, and I got to grow all these new, paintball
I love
memories
that.
and everything. So yeah, it's interesting to see kind of what happened and learn
Yeah,
kind of where you went and where you came from. And
yeah,
I think you found a great family. I think you fit in
yeah.
perfect. I think
I love
the guys on the team that you're learning from are the best in the biz. So
totally.
Excuse me.
And it's not just paintball either. They teach me a lot about life. They're really good humans, you know.
Yeah.
Like they have a lot that they've accomplished in their lives, and obviously, you know, Alex, phenomenal businessman, Oliver, spiritual guru,
Yeah.
Blake Yarber teaches me how to repair things, you know. Like they just learn everything from these guys, and I couldn't ask to have, you know, a better group of guys surrounded by, and to call my brothers that we go into war together with.
Yeah.
It's a unique experience.
Everybody's so different on that team.
Yeah.
Like you guys have all such different personalities, and I think at times they probably clash, but at times I feel like it's just so fluid that you can't even tell that that you guys are any different.
Yeah, we're like a crazy band, you know, just a bunch of crazy guys running around. I just watched Push too, and it's funny, like, who was it? Ed Portman was saying that he's like, you know, we're more like a band. You got Rocky Cagnoni and Chris Lasoya and all these guys, and like, it's just it's not something that we do for, like I said, the accolades. We do it for each other because we love each other and we love the sport, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, we have a lot of passion for the game, and that's probably why we've been able to be a successful team, is because we care about each other and we care about the sport and moving it forward, and always be on a progression. You know, we don't want to stay stagnant. We got to keep moving.
You know, one of the things that stick in my mind from Push is that part where Ed Portman, where he goes like this. He goes, Ed Portman, he's like, the Italian wants it melted. Like he's on the grill and he's putting cheese on there. But my I'm gonna say, Sunday Drivers is probably one of my favorite paintball movies. It's amazing.
That was right here in my backyard too, with, like, you know, Telford and that whole camp. You know, just been very fortunate to be surrounded by paintball. I didn't know growing up in Modesto that I would have, you know, the franchise Rich Telford living here, and it's really I got lucky. I got lucky that I was born, you know, in this area, and because California is kind of like what Hawaii is to surfing, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of where tournament paintball birthed from, and like Field One paintball is a spin-off of, like, just a little, so you guys know what Field One is. Branding, and Field One. The reason they called it that is there's a field here in the Bay Area called Mare Island, and they had a field out there that they would play at. All the original Dynasty guys are mostly NorCal guys, and that's like where they would all go meet up at and play, is at Field One in Mare Island, and that's why they came up with that name for the company.
That's cool. Yeah, I was wondering where it came from.
Yeah, so it's like a little spin-off of old school paintball, and all the guys playing at Field One up here in Northern California.
I forget where I heard about Mare Island from. I think it was Maddie probably talked about it, but I think it was in Serial Killers too.
Yeah.
In Serial Killers, the first one. I think it was Alex or Oliver's part where they were talking about it.
That's right. Yeah, they do talk about it in there, and it's crazy to think about, because we think of San Diego Dynasty being a Southern California team, but really all the guys are from Northern California, right? Moved down to Southern California from Dynasty, and Yosh Rao, he just moved back up here to NorCal, and Alex and myself, we live up here in NorCal, so we have, you know, a few guys up here and a few down south, and we all meet up and fly down to Camp Pendleton, and that's where we practice at. But it's interesting to know the history behind, you know, this team is mostly based out of this area, and I would have never guessed that, you know, when I was growing up. I didn't even really know any of that before I got into paintball, and the more I fell in love with the sport, the more I realized that I'm like sitting in a mecca point of where this is all booming out of, which is just luck, you know, just dumb sheer luck that would happen, and that I would fall in love with this sport where it's at.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think that's a good spot to end it.
For sure, brother.
I think we had a pretty good conversation. I definitely want to get with you at an event sometime this year.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, even though this was an amazing conversation, I'm sure it'll be 100 times better face to face. The energy's that much better anyway. So
yeah, I can high five you.
Yeah, exactly. We can high five and handshake during the interview. Yeah. Cool, man. Well, I really appreciate any shout outs or anything like that for you'd like to give out.
I just want to give a shout out to God, the highest power, and to the paintball community. Thank you guys for continuously, spreading the love of the sport to everyone out there. And it's all up to us. We have to just take it one day at a time and one connection at a time. Huge shout out to HK Army and to Field One Paintball, Camp Pendleton, A&S Gear, First Strike, our tanks. Thank you to all of our sponsors who help support us. And we couldn't do it without you guys. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. HK, yes. And thank you, Carl, for having me on, man. This is
no
a really
problem.
cool
Thank
idea.
you.
And I wish you guys much success on this adventure, and I hope that you get a lot more cool podcasts and just run around and have fun, play paintball.
Hell yeah, man. I'll definitely see you in Vegas, and
Cool.
we'll have to meet up there sometime, hang out for a little bit.
Definitely. We'll definitely meet up. We'll do another one of these.
Hell yeah, bud. We'll see you then, alrighty?
All right, brother. You take care.
All right, see you, man. Later.
Later, bro.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that little podcast from Tyler Harmon and myself. I had a great time. Thank you very much, Tyler, for joining me and making an awesome podcast. And now a quick thank you to our sponsors. Planet Eclipse, thank you guys very much for supporting myself as well as this podcast. You're an awesome company. You make awesome products. I am very, very fortunate to be able to shoot your guys' equipment, your LV1, your LVR, as well as your CS1. Thank you very much for that. Thank you, Vantrition, for supplying me with an awesome supplement, the Paintball Preload, as well as the Paintball Reload. If you guys haven't yet, definitely give them a try, vantrition.com. And a big thank you also goes out to Midwest Clothing. These guys are bringing out product left and right. It's all awesome. They have great pants. They have great jerseys. Their headgear is awesome. Please go check them out at midwestclothingllc.com. Thank you guys again for joining me. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes as well as SoundCloud. I'm also over on YouTube, Carl Markowski, Instagram, C. Markizzle, and Facebook, Carl Microwave Markowski. So I hope you guys had a good time, and we will see you again soon. Take care, everybody.